So great, everyone. Welcome. So you already had Tableau part one. Today's Thursday. So this week, yes, this week. Today, we're going to get into Tableau part two. So two things before we get started. The first one, this is today's anime background. It is very musical, by the way. And if you've never seen it, don't worry. I will actually share this particular clip in case you eventually want to see it, because it is amazing. Second, you've already been playing around with Tableau for a couple of days, learning how to navigate it. So here's my question. What is the coolest thing so far that you've learned or seen in Tableau? I'll show you in a bit what my favorite part of Tableau is. There we go. Time key range. So yeah, filtering is quite amazing, especially with times, the graphics, making everything floating. Yes, floating dashboards, definitely. Time key, definitely so far. Charts or different worksheets. Wonderful. All the worksheets that you can build on a single dashboard. Yes, definitely. So for me, the coolest thing, it's because I just love how they look, is this. choropleth maps. I love choropleth maps in general, especially when you're doing any kind of geolocalized data. And I love that you can just do them very easily with Tableau, which, by the way, we will do one today. A simple one, but still a great start to learning how to do these wonderful maps in Tableau. All right, so we started. So if you have any questions about last lesson, like something that didn't, just feel free to drop them. Last lesson, you went ahead and built this bird's eye view. Again, this is just the very basic design, and I'll show you in a bit what I have. And I know exactly what you did. Well, I saw a couple of the examples of what you did and loved them. So I do want to remind you that this part, just, sitting down for a few minutes and jotting down your ideas before you start building a dashboard, is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of suffering down the line. I know, because it happens to me. Whenever somebody starts talking to me about a dashboard, I want to jump in. I want to get into Tableau or Power BI and start putting together things to show. Nonetheless, I have actually done the exercise of testing it out, and it takes me 2 to 3 times as long to build a dashboard if I don't do this, if I don't draw it out first, if I don't think about it first and do a little bit of an initial design. So always, just as a big suggestion from experience, do this and you will be a lot more successful whenever you're building any kind of dashboard. Now, today, we're going to be working, so this was the bird's eye view, and today we're going to be working on the detailed view. I know you don't have to download new data. We're going to be working with the same data, and you can actually start working and work on the same dashboard, like literally on the same dashboard that you were working on Tuesday. All right, so you don't have, there's no new data. It's all the same. And very important, the only thing that's going to change is that first, we use the data to build the bird's eye view. And today we're going to build a more detailed view, which is what you see over here. So again, we're going to keep the company logo. We're going to put some scorecards over here and the date picker. So, the filter that you built last time for the dates on the time. But today we're going to do some other kinds of visualizations. And Mike, that's a wonderful question. Yes, you can share that. So if you're building a sketch because you're building a dashboard for a group of stakeholders, yes, of course, that's great. Actually, you do the initial sketch and you sit down with them to see if they like what you're thinking about. So yes, definitely, great idea. And yes, we jump directly into a project because it's the best way to learn, just by doing. Because if you try to go through all of the tools that Tableau has, it's going to take you months. Like literally, Tableau has a lot of stuff. So it's better to learn how to do the initial stuff just by doing, and you will start learning all of the rest, because it takes a while to get used to how Tableau sets things up. So again, today we're actually going to move. We're going to do some drill down graphics and some drill down charts. We're going to do a bubble map. We're going to do a pie chart, and we're going to do another bar chart, because we love bar charts, because they're bar charts. All right, so just going back a little bit to the context, we are working with a company called Simply Music, and they're based in Florida. They have 3 physical stores and the website, which they send to all over the United States. And they want to find out what their most popular items are, what locations are the most profitable, etc. And they also want to learn about the number of deliveries that are made outside of Florida. So, the stuff that gets bought on the website. Now, the business problem is that we need to create a dashboard. And you already started, you created a bird's eye view, which actually answered some of the questions that they had for us. So we had 3 questions. The first one was how have our sales, revenue, and profits evolved over time, which we already answered with the bird's eye view. And second, what are the locations with the highest numbers of sales and profit? Again, we already answered that one with the bird's eye view. But there's another question that's a little bit more complex. What are the items with the highest numbers of sales, profit, and revenue across product description, product type, product line, location, customer age group, and state of delivery? Now, we're not going to necessarily be able to answer every single one of these questions, but we're definitely going to answer most of them. Now, by the way, question by Effie about sharing the Tableau file. So there's a little bit of an issue when you're sharing Tableau files, and it has to do with the paths to whatever data and stuff that you have on your computer. So if you try to load somebody else's file and the path is different, it's still not going to load. And for example, if you're trying to load it on a different computer, it's not going to load either. So it's not like opening an Excel file. So be very careful with that. Yes, and Nina, yes, you can do both the bird's eye view and the detailed view on the same Tableau if you want to, or you can open another one. It's up to you. Just make sure that you load the same data. But if you don't want to mess with loading the data again, work exactly on the same file you were working. All right. So go ahead, yes, or make a copy. That's also fine. So yeah, open the dashboard and we're going to continue working. So first of all, let me share with you 1 second. This is my bird's eye view. So you're very nice. Welcome to it. By the way, I know you're working with floating tiles. I love working with floating tiles, by the way, also. But I actually like sometimes working with tiled views, and just because you can actually do some things like adding some stuff and making sure that everything's nice and neat and square. But again, either way works wonders. I'm a big fan of floating as well. So this was the bird's eye view. So we had, profit and revenue in line charts, sales over time, so we can see what happened, sales by location to see which locations are selling more, and of course, revenue and profit by location, which we already did this. Now, today we're going to be working on specifically the detailed view. So you didn't do profit and revenue by location? Okay, no worries. So today, let's actually get started let's actually move back to here, and before we go into the Tableau, and let's actually start talking about this detailed view page. So the second page that we're going to build, the second dashboard, is going to be a detailed view. And the first thing we're going to build is a geographical bubble chart. In other words, we want to build a bubble chart of where the stuff we're sending, where the destination state. In other words, the stuff that's being bought on the website, where are we sending it to? What's the destination state for that stuff? So that's going to give us an idea of where we are selling more from the website. So let's actually, the way we're going to start with this one is the first thing is we're going to grab the destination state. So we're going to go to destination state. Let me actually pop this up 1 second. Yep. So we're going to take the destination state. So on your tables, you should have destination state. And that one, we are going to move into the columns area. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Now, this is going to take a few steps, and we'll go through it again, just if we need to. So don't worry about it. And then we are going to move units sold onto the rows area. So we go down to where you have the measure names, and we're going to get the units sold onto the rows. Okay, that is going to, of course, build just because that's like the default, it's going to be a bar chart, but we don't want a bar chart. So let's actually go over here to show me. Oops. Just remember, we have this wonderful show me button over here. So we're going to open it up. And interestingly enough, already Tableau is giving us a suggestion, which is this one, which is nicely, as you can see, it's all red. There's also this other map option, but in this case, we want the one that's called symbol maps. So if you look down here, this one is called symbol maps, which is this option right here. Okay, so that's the one that we're going to pick. So once you click on it, now, yeah, mine, because I'm in Spain, it's giving me the names in Spanish, so don't worry about that. But the important thing is that you're going to see a map. Now, you see these tiny, tiny little dots? Those are the dots for the units sold. Now, I'm getting one unknown, and you might actually get some other things over here, like you might not see any dots. So if you don't see any dots down here, see that I have this one says unknown? Well, I want you to click on that. So click on unknown, and the first thing you're going to see is this edit locations. Oh, that's a great question, Manish. So this one we're going to call, let's call it sales. I'm going to call it sales by state, but I'll change the name in just a bit. So let's go to edit locations. And the first thing, so for example, when I open it up, this one's going to say Spain. So let's say you see it like this. So as you can see, there are no dots. You don't see anything. And down here, you're going to see this that says 18 unknown. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on that 18 unknown. We're going to click on edit locations. And as you can see, the first thing here where it says country region, we are going to make sure that that says United States. Okay, so just either write UNI or something and click on United States. All right, that's it. And once you do that, as you can see, most of the spaces are going to get chosen. Now, some of them may not. Now, for example, there's a no one, which we're going to fix in just a bit. And if for some reason, sometimes this Louisiana and Massachusetts do not look right, so you can actually, if they say unrecognized, just click on this little, you're going to see it in a bit. Just click on this little arrow, and you can actually look for the actual state. So, and in this case, it would be Louisiana or Massachusetts. So for some of you, it might not be a problem. For others, it might be an issue. So let's actually repeat the states. I'm actually going to go back to, well, I'm just going to pick whatever other name so that it actually gives me an error. Okay, so first thing, if you do not see any dots, or if you see anything down here that says 1, 2, 3, or 18 unknown, however, the number, anything that's unknown, then you're going to click on that. All right, that's the first step. Second, you're going to click on this one that says edit locations. And on edit locations, the first thing where it says country region, you're going to search for United States. Now, if this is in a different language, make sure you check for anything else. If you do, for example, if I do USA, it doesn't show up. In my case, it is United States. If you have it in your own language, you're going to have to look for that particular language. Yes, Glenn will fix them in just a tiny bit, those two that might be misspelled. All right, so once you fix those, you're going to see a couple of them that might be unrecognized, particularly Louisiana and Massachusetts. Now, if that's the case, just click on where it says unrecognized, and you're going to be able to pick the state. Okay. All right, so let me actually go back here. So if you find anything, so for example, Louisiana and Massachusetts might say unrecognized. See where this says unrecognized? It doesn't matter which one. So if that says unrecognized, then actually click on unrecognized. And this is what's going to happen. You're going to click on it, and it's going to open a drop down. See this little drop down over here? I can't actually draw it. So there's a little bit of a drop down over here, and that's going to pop up a drop down of all the states. So just look for Louisiana, look for Massachusetts, and make sure that those are there. Not for the null, just for Louisiana and Massachusetts. We're going to fix the null in just a bit. Yes, we're going to fix the null in just a second. So moving across the map is, there's a few ways. I always have an issue with this. I generally just zoom out and zoom back in wherever I want. And that's probably one of the best, for me, an easier way to move, because I work with so many softwares that sometimes it's, I have never found it. And if somebody knows, by the way, if one of the TAs knows how to move through the map with the mouse, I would appreciate it as well, because I have never found how to do it. By the way, Kalim, if you have more than 2 states unknown, again, click on unknown and make sure after edit locations that the country region is United States. Okay, because that's probably why it's not recognized in most of the states. Thank you. That is wonderful. You know what? I have never found that one. So if you want to move around the map, that's great. It's right here, by the way. I mean, so this little triangle, and click on, not on the marquee tool, which is for selecting, but on the move tool. That's wonderful. Thank you. If you do not have any unknowns, that's fine. You're okay. All right. So anybody having any issues with any unknowns except for null? So if you have a null value, that's fine. We're going to fix it in a bit. All right. So to fix the null, for the null value, the issue is that we're going to have to do a little bit of filtering. So we're going to take destination state. You can grab it from here, from this area over here, or we just go to destination state, and we're going to put it in filters. Oops. And as you can see, it's going to open up this window. And one of the things that you're going to notice is that there's this null value over here. Since we don't like null values, we're just going to unselect it. And once you unselect it and click apply, boom, it's fixed. Now, as you can see, there's no longer an unknown values over down here in the bottom right corner. So that's where they pop up, by the way. All right. Now, just in case, if so let's say if you want to make your dots bigger because those dots seem a little bit too small, just click on size over here. Just go to the size option, and we just move it and make them bigger. Okay, so once more for the filter. So let me get rid of this. All right. So if you still have one unknown, which is probably going to be the null one, then you're going to grab destination state again. But in this case, you're going to move it over to the filter section. Okay. So you're going to grab it, drag it to filters, and this is going to pop out. See this window? And in this window, we need to unselect this one, the null value. So I'm just going to unselect that one. And finally, click on apply. And that's it. That's going to get rid of the null, and you should not get any more unknown values down here. All right. Once more, if you want to change the size of the dots, here where it says size, click on it and just make them bigger. If you make them too big, they're going to look like this. If you make them too small, we're not going to be able to see them. So try and look for something that makes sense to you and looks nice to you. Yeah, well done. Now, if you want to change the color, once more, just go over here to color. Click on it. And you can choose a color that you want. In this case, I'm going to use this one. All right. So once again, if you want to choose color, just go over here to the color section, and there you can pick whatever color you want for your dots. To move across the map. So somewhere over here. So when you move your mouse into this section right into the map, this is going to pop out. See this little triangle? So just go over it, and you have a few options. Generally, this is the one that's selected. This is called a marquee tool. This one allows me to select different areas of the map, and that's fine. But if you want to move around with the mouse, click on that. You don't even have to click on it. Just hover over it and pick this one, the one that's like a cross arrows. And once you click on that one, you can move around like this. All right. Are we clear on the map? Thank you, Sam. Are we clear on the map? Play around with it. I mean, we're just going to go through the basics. Play around with it. You get the map. It's over here. After you select destination state in columns, and this one was units sold in rows. Here in the show me section, this is the map that we want. It's called a symbol map. See right here, symbol maps. All right, wonderful. So we got our map. Now, the next part is going to be a little bit more particular in certain ways. So we're going to do something called a drill down. So, well, first of all, let me rename this. This is sales. Now let's just call it sales by destination. Sales by destination. All right. Wonderful. So to do a drill down, so let me open up a new worksheet, and we're going to call this one. This is going to be profit drill down. So Hassan, if we have locations in different countries, then it's, this, like the map here covers the whole world. So it's going to show you the dots in different countries. If it's just one country, we can just do like we did right here. We can just zoom into whatever country we're working on and just keep it there. But yeah, this is going to be a world map. And as long as you have the geographical description or location, it's going to work. All right. So let's work on a profit drill down. Actually, let's call this one profit, because drill down sounds too specific. Profit by product. So we already know how to do, for example, a bar chart or a column chart if we wanted to do, for example, product line or product type or product description. But what happens if we want to do one with all of them together? So the first thing we need to do is we need to build something called a hierarchy. So the first thing I want to point you at is, let's start with product line and product type. So product line is, for example, we have musical instruments and accessories. So that's like the higher level. And then we have the product type. So for example, pianos, electric pianos, woodwinds, etc. So we need to create a hierarchy if we want to work with these two at the same time. And actually, it's fairly easy to do it with Tableau. So all you need to do is you need to pick the lower bottom one. So in this case, product line, because product type is the bigger one. So you're just going to click on that one and drag it on top of product line. And this is what's going to happen. It's asking you if you want to create a hierarchy right here. So the hierarchy, the product type, that means that that's the top level. And then the second one, in this case, product line, is the next level below. All right. So this is the way that it should look. So once again, let me actually cancel on this one and do it one more time. You're going to take product. Let's highlight this part over here. So you're going to take product line, just click on it, hold it. Oops, I held it too long, and drag it on top of product type. And it is going to ask you to create, if you want to create a hierarchy. And I'm going to say, okay, I want to create a hierarchy. All right. And what that does, as you can see, it says product type, product line, hierarchy. Actually, it's the other way around. Is it? Product line, product type. I actually don't remember which is which, so I'm actually going to just check them out in just a little bit. So product, I was right. So product line goes up top. That's fine. If you need to move them, you can just move them around. Now, the third level, because we have third levels in this hierarchy. The third level, if it pops up the other way, product type first and product line second, you can just move them around. See? You can move them around as much as you want once the hierarchy is created. The most important thing is that you create the hierarchy first. I think it's, product line first, then product type. Then, since we need a third one, a new worksheet? Well, so it's sort of important for every different visualization that you're going to do, that you create a new worksheet. Now, not a new dashboard. Remember, we have worksheets, we have dashboards, and we have storyboards. All right. In this case, I'm just creating new worksheets. And yes, for every visual, you want to create a new worksheet, so then you can add all of them onto the final dashboard. And it is very important, because if I delete this one to build another one, then I cannot add different visuals onto my dashboard. All right, so now I'm actually going to take the last one, which is the description. So the description is the one that tells me what product it is. So if, for example, if I put it over here right now, see, it's telling me that this is the Akai MPK 108. This is the Alesis Nitro Mesh electronic drum set, etc. But, I don't care about those right now. What I do care about is that I want to take this description and I want to put it in my hierarchy in the last place. So I'm going to move the description. Let me just delete this because that. So I'm going to move the description over underneath product type. Okay, so your hierarchy should look like this. You should have the hierarchy on this first place, and inside of it, product line first, then product type, and finally description. Okay, everybody ready with their hierarchies? Product line, product type, description, yes. All right, so this one is going to be profit by product, right? So I'm actually going to put the hierarchy. So I'm taking this one over here. So not these three together, but this one over here, which is the hierarchy, not them individually. And I'm moving it into the rows. And you'll see why I'm moving into the rows. Yes, I'll repeat hierarchies in just a bit. All right, so I'll move it into the rows. And finally, because in this case, we're doing profit, so we're going to pick profit. So profit is over here. You should have it down there. And I'm just going to take profit and put it into columns. So why? Because I actually want to do a column chart. Now, in this case, I'm going to just click on here so that it's Great. So the one that sells the most first, or the one that with the most profit first, and then the other one. Now, here's the cool thing. Just because we did that hierarchy, which I'm going to repeat in just a little bit, this is what happens after we build this. This looks like just, the product line versus profit, and that's fine. But it turns out that if we go over here, see that this little plus sign pops out? That tiny little plus sign. If you click on it, look at how cool what happens. Now we just moved into product type. So I have product line over here. And if I click the plus, boom, I have product type. And now I have everything ordered by product type. And if I want the specific product, I still have one more. So I go to product type, there's a little plus sign. I click on that one. And now I have the specific products. And that's how you build a drill down table. Well, in this case, a drill down column chart. And again, if you want to go back, you go to product, click on the minus sign, you go to product line, you click on the minus sign, and we're back to product line. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this one once more. So if you need to remember, so how to create a hierarchy, let me actually undo it, remove hierarchy so we can do it again. All right, so going back one more time, just in case you missed it. So the first thing, to create a hierarchy, you're going to grab two different, we're going to pick two different items from your tables. So in this case, I'm going to pick product type and product line. So product line goes first, but it doesn't matter because we can move them around. So you're going to grab one of those two. They're over here, just in case. You're going to grab one of those two and just drop it on top of the other. Just drag it and drop it. Boom. Just like you were dragging somewhere else. This is going to pop out. Create hierarchy. Product line, product type. Doesn't matter what the order is because we can rearrange it. You're going to hit OK. All right. So we have product line first, product type second. So this is what gets created, a hierarchy. So once the hierarchy is created, you're going to grab the third item, which is description, and you're just going to add it to the bottom. So you're going to have a hierarchy that has product line, product type, and description. All right. Once that's done, you're going to grab the whole hierarchy and move it into rows. And then we're going to move profit into columns. All right. You can't find profit on the list. Well, if you can't find profit, you're going to have to create it. Here's a question. Do you have dollars sold and cost? Okay. So you're going to grab dollars sold, move it over here. Oops, that's not it actually. Where was it? Where was it? I always describe, transform. You have revenue. Okay. So do you have revenue or profit? So I have dollars sold. So if you can send me, so if you don't have profit, show me. You don't have revenue, you don't have dollars sold. Okay, so all right. So I'm going to rename this one to revenue. That's fine. Oops, I create a copy. That's not what I want. So I'll rename it to revenue. So wait, but just in case, you rename profit to revenue, or I just want to make sure. I have dollars sold. This is revenue. I can actually rename it to revenue if you want. Just revenue. So I'm just renaming dollars sold to revenue. So we have revenue, which is all the money coming in from sales. We have cost, which is how much we pay for the product. And we have profit. So profit is a calculated sell. Oops. Okay, so do you have anybody? Revenue, profit, unit price, unit sold, dollar sold. So dollar sold should be revenue. Yes. So again, dollar sold is revenue, all the money coming in. Profit is profit. You should have both from last session, profit and revenue. Yes. Profit is dollar sold minus, okay, you have both. Great. Great. So this one is for profit. So what I want you to do is let's actually do two things. So you've already created one for profit. So now let me go back over here. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to create and make sure that you have two dynamic hierarchical column charts. The first one should show the items that have generated the most revenue. In other words, just revenue, the one that we just did. Actually, we did profit. You should do one for revenue. So you should have one for revenue and one for profit. And I want you to, after you build those two, answer these three questions in the chat. The first one is, what is the highest profit string instrument and how much revenue did it produce? What is the lowest profit item and how much profit did it generate? Sorry, just very quickly with this question, how much, this is not revenue, how much profit? How much profit did it produce? Sorry about that. Oopsie. And the second one, what is the lowest profit item and how much profit did it generate? Third question, what is the best seller in woodwinds and how much did it sell? That's revenue. And the last question is, what is the worst selling digital piano and how much did it sell? And I'll give you about 5 minutes to build it and answer the questions. In the meantime, I'll try to answer any questions that you have. So in my case, in the row variable, I'm actually putting in the first one, I did the hierarchy. Remember that we built a hierarchy? I put the hierarchy in the rows section. Make sure you read the questions. So there's two questions on profit and two questions on revenue. So if you go, so once you're, oh, you want to see all the instruments again. Just go back. Uh, and remember, we're looking for items. So in other words, you have to go all the way down to description. Wow, I'm getting a lot of different answers here. All right. Okay. Let's actually, first of all, oh no, you have 2 more minutes still. Ah, so remember that you can click, let me actually go to it in just one moment. Remember that you can click here to make sure that it's organized by amount. So, the biggest one first, that is ordered. So for example, if it's like this, or if it's like this, see, depending on how this is unorganized, just as it, so this is organized by the name of the product, or the name of the product type in this case, or in this case, by the name of the product. If I click again, it's ordered by, in this case, by profit. So just to make it easier to find. All right, let's actually go through a couple of the questions. So the first one's about profit. I have not built my my revenue graph yet, my revenue chart, but there's the profit chart. So let's actually go through the first couple of questions. The first one is, what is the highest profit string instrument and how much did it sell? So to go into string instruments, first I have to open it up. Here I have all of my instruments. I'm going to open it up once more, and I'm going to go down to strings. So strings are here. So yeah, most of you actually, as you mentioned, is the Ming Yanzhu 907 cello, and it sold 506. Well, the profit was 516,459. Remember, we're talking about profit, not, the question was about profit, not about how much it sold, because I see that we have very different numbers. Interesting. We have different numbers for profit. Why? So I have an old, no, I have the same, interesting. I have the same one that you have, and I'm getting a different number. Let me just check one thing out. I'm going to open up another one. This is going to be revenue. Revenue by product. So let me do this one over here. And this is going to be revenue. Maybe my calculated field is wrong. Ding. Strings, no. Yes, I definitely have a different number. Let me just open. Ta-da. So interesting. we do have a dividend number for that one. I have 516,459. So we can actually check that one out. This is revenue, which is different. I'm actually going to do another one just in case and to check that one out. This one's going to be cost per by product. I just want to run the costs just in case. So rows, cost over here. Let me organize it. Boom, boom, boom. And I just want to check out the strings. 330. So if you did already the revenue, what is your total revenue for the Ming Yangzhou 907? Because I'm getting 846,000. And if I run my if I do the same with a cost by product, its cost is 330,000. So yeah, it sounds like the profit was about 516,000. Yeah, 846,000 is correct for revenue. But my question is profit. So do you have the time key? Are you filtering by a different time frame? That's a big question. Make sure that your time filter is off or that your filter is over the whole time. All right. Let's actually go to the second question, just in case. Interesting. So some of you are getting the same answer that I am, and some of you are not. All right. So for those of you that are getting 186,000 for profit, can you check to see your calculated field? Oops, that's not it. Because it should be revenue minus cost, right? Wow, that's a different number for profit, Rudba. And what is total cost in your case? Because I have cost. This is just cost from the worksheet. So if you want to check it, just right click on it and where it says describe. So for example, here it says what the formula is. So in my case, it's revenue minus cost. Okay. So here's an interesting. So total cost, units sold time cost. The problem with total. Oh wow. Okay. So all right. So no, this is this. So what happened here is a little bit of diagnostics, but not so much analytics. So the issue with total cost is that you're calculating total cost for. So again, total cost equals units sold times cost, all of the units sold. So that total cost is actually not just the cost per unit, is the cost for all the units. So something there's not actually working out. All right. Let's actually go to the second question. So here's the thing: cost and total. So I think I know where the confusion is. Cost and total cost are two different things. I know. So cost in this case, if we look, let's actually look at the source, and we're about to go on a break just in case. So if we go back to the source, when it says cost, this is the cost for that particular item. Total cost is the sum of all the items. Now do you see what I mean? So if you're calculating the cost of how much I sold one item for minus the total cost of a group of items, I'm not going to get the right answer. So that you don't have to use total cost in this case. You have to use cost for because we're not calculating total revenue. I think that's the issue. We're instead of that total cost, yes, total profit and profit, total cost and cost are different things. So the calculation that you need for doing this particular table is just cost, but you don't need to calculate it. It's already on the sheet. It's part of the original sheet. So in this case, we don't want, so in this case, if you want profit, not total profit, but profit per item, you need to just calculate the price, unit price minus cost. Oh, sorry. Profit is revenue minus cost. That's it. Just the cost of the unit. Let me just check over here. Yeah, cost. My cost is coming directly from the sheet. Yeah, don't use, so again, for revenue, we're just talking revenue, not total revenue, and cost, not total cost. So it's just revenue minus cost. Yes, profit has to be revenue minus cost, not minus total cost. Just, you can create a new one. Don't worry about changing it per se, just create a new one. Do you have, Leon, do you have dollars? So revenue, wow, there's a few things over here. Revenue, let me actually write it here. So revenue is the same as dollars sold. Okay, so if you don't have revenue, but you have dollars sold, you can use dollars sold. It's the same thing. All right, let's actually take a break. If you need to redo your calculations for just a moment, just feel free to do them. Don't worry about it. All right, yes, profit per item works as well. And let's take a 10-minute break. Go grab a drink, stretch your legs. If you still don't get the same numbers, don't worry about it. And we'll go through the questions on the chat while you're on the break. So see you in 10 minutes. So let's actually go back to our questions very quickly. Hopefully, we already fixed the whole profit revenue. So remember, whenever we're using this word total, remember to be very careful and exactly what we mean. Whenever we're talking about unit, sometimes it's better to just have a lot of different variables and make sure that they're all specific. Total profit equals revenue minus total cost. Yeah, total profit equals total revenue minus total cost. And profit equals, like, specific profit per item equals revenue minus cost. So let's go. Highest profit string instrument, once again. So we go to our profit by product, and highest profit string instrument is the Mingyan Zhu 907 with 516,459. Second question, lowest profit item. So this is the highest profit string, but if we want the lowest profit item, we have to go all the way down. And it's this one right here. The Adario, and I'm sorry that my computer is not reading it correctly, the Adario Port Art EJ44 Classical. So by the way, these are strings, not string instruments, but strings for instruments, and profit is 123. Third question, bestseller in woodwinds. In other words, the one that sold the most money, not necessarily the most profit. So we go to our product, revenue by product, and we go to woodwinds, and apparently it's this one, the Bulgaroni. Is that, yeah, bestseller in woodwinds. We have different. So bestseller, not worst seller. Bestseller in woodwinds seems to be the Bulgaroni artist Oboe with 347,805. Anybody have a different answer for that one? Best woodwinds, best selling. Remember, we're talking in this case, if we're talking about best selling, we're talking about revenue. Lowest profit. Lowest profit is all the way down here in accessories strings, the Deodario Pro Art J44 classical string. And finally, the worst selling digital piano. Which was the worst selling digital piano? So yeah, we can do it by unit sold. But in this case, we're talking about revenue. So if that wasn't clear, apologies for that. But we're talking about the one that sold the most amount of money. At least that was the idea of the question. So the worst selling digital piano. So let's go up to digital pianos, which are here, and we go all the way to the last one, which is the Casio Silviano AP270 with I'm in profit. You're right. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, that was the lowest profit piano, but I want there we go, with $70,283 sold. So yeah. So now those questions were more, the important thing is to show you how easy, once this gets organized in a drill down, how easy it is to find stuff. Like literally, if you wanted to find it quicker, like for example, the lowest sellers, we can just switch it around. And then in each part, like for example, in woodwinds, we have the lowest seller. In digital pianos, here we have the lowest seller. So we can reorganize or use whether it's here on the worksheet or after we put it over on a dashboard, and it's easy to find exactly what we're looking for. So yeah, it's very important to organize them. So that's one of the coolest things, that we can drill down and organize things so that we can find them fast. All right. So there's a couple more things that we need to do before we actually build or finish building our dashboard or put it together. So the first one, we want to create a pie chart. And this one, I'm actually going to let you do it. I'm going to give you a few minutes and then we'll go through it together. So what I want you to do is to create a pie chart of sales by channel. So remember, we have 3 different channels, right? We have 3 stores. That's 1, 2, 3. And the website. That's 4 different channels. By sales generator. In other words, if we're talking about sales generated, we're talking about revenue. Okay. So I want you to build a pie chart. Give it whatever colors you want and try to do it yourself. And I'll give you 5 minutes to do that. And when you're done, feel free to share your pie chart. By the way, your pie chart should sort of seem and look something like this. And if you have time, play around with it. If you want to change the colors, if you want to add more stuff, play around with it and see what happens. To make it bigger, look, remember that there's a little size button in the marks section, but there's going to be a limit up to how big you can make it, just in case. Yeah, if you make it too big, it's no longer a pie chart. It's a square size slice of pizza. Wonderful. See, pie charts are simple. Just remember, we're doing, when we're talking about sales per channel, we're talking about revenue, not units sold. If you want to do units sold, that's perfectly fine. Nonetheless, make sure that you mention that it's units sold. So yes, Hakim, every time you do a new visual on Tableau, you do it on a new worksheet, so that afterwards you can actually build your dashboard using those worksheets. Just 30 more seconds. And we're almost done. After this one, we only have one more table to do, one more visual to do. All right. So doing a pie chart, as most of you noticed, not that complicated, especially if we know exactly what we want to do. In this case, we want to do the channels. So we're just going to take the channels. I'm going to put it in columns. It's not really going to make a big difference. And then I'm going to take, and then I'm going to take, in this case, the revenue. And I'm just going to ask it to do a pie chart. And that's it. Now we have a pie chart. Yeah, I can make it bigger. If I make it too big, it looks like a square. And you can actually play around with it and add different things. You can add date, labels, you can add details. I haven't moved screens. That is so a Zoom thing. So let me actually redo it. So boom, boom, boom. So again, all you're doing is, actually, let's do it from the start. So I'm deleting this. I'm adding a new worksheet. I'm just going to call it revenue by channel. So I'm going to take the channel, put it in columns. Then I'm actually, just in case, yes, this time I'm showing the right one. Channel and then revenue. Boom. I get a bar chart because that's what what Tableau likes to do most of the time. But I'm going to go over here on the side and pick this one, which is the pie chart. So remember, if this is closed, just click show me, and I'm going to do my little pie chart, making a little bit bigger, just in case. And of course, here you're going to see the little all this, the sum of revenue, the total, and you're going to see each of the little parts for Lauderdale, Tampa, website, and West Palm Beach. Interestingly enough, West Palm Beach sells more than the website, which for me is just interesting. Don't worry about putting the legend right beside the chart right now. That's something that we're going to worry about when we're building the dashboard. Right now, we're just building the different worksheets. But yeah, you can do that, but we'll do that on the dashboard. Maybe we'll even remove it if we don't actually need it, but we'll figure it out. All right, so we have our pie chart. There's only one more thing we need to do before we finish building our dashboard, and it's the last chart. Now, what we want is to create a bar chart of the number of units sold per product line. So remember, we have accessories and we have musical instruments. All we want to do is build something like this. So I'll give you a couple of minutes for this one because you've been doing bar charts for a while. So again, product line and units sold. $50 seconds. All right, so this time making sure that I'm moving around. I'm building a new worksheet. This is going to be units sold per product line. I know it's a mouthful. And again, in this case, we want the units sold. Like this, and we want the product line. Now, even if this is already in a hierarchy, it doesn't matter. I can just grab the product line and that's more than enough. And of course, I can change the colors. I can change the opacity. There's all kinds of things that we can do to make them look different. We can make them bigger, or in this case, thicker or narrower, depending on what we want to do and what looks better. Now, the thing is that we don't necessarily know exactly what's going to look better, depending on exactly what we're going to do. So this is the last chart that we needed to make for our original design. So remember, this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to, this was the or chart or sketch for the detailed view. So we had the company logo up here, the scorecards, so the same scorecards that you already used and you've probably already built for the bird's eye view. The date picker, very important to also have the date picker. And then we have all of these charts. The first is the bar chart with the drill downs for items and sales. In this case, this is for revenue. And then the one for profit. So revenue on one side, right next to the profit one. Then the pie chart, the bubble map of states and items delivered. And finally, the bar chart of, number of customers, or number of units sold per product line. So that's sort of the order of the things we can actually put together. So now I'm actually going to give you, definitely have time. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to put together your second dashboard. So remember, just in case you don't remember, because you've only done it once, in this case, we're not going to open a new worksheet. Let's take a look down here. It's not the worksheet, not this one, but this one. So a new dashboard. We want to open a new dashboard. And remember, if you want to make it a little bit bigger, because it generally starts every time you open it, it's a little bit short. Just go over here where it says size. Let me just show you over here where it says size. Open it up and just make it wider. Yeah, actually over here. Just make it wider to whatever width you feel comfortable with. And of course, if you want it floating, you remember to click over down here and put it in floating. Can you choose an automatic size? Yes, you can. I mean, whatever works for you. All right. So I will leave you with the sketch and go ahead and build it. So Manish, on Tuesday, you built the bird's eye view, not the detailed view. Or at least I hope. Or did you build everything? If you already have the open the dashboard to fill out, just feel free to just do it. Don't worry about it. You don't have to open it. Yes, the date picker is the time key. And we'll go through it, just doing it again, just in case. Remember that if you don't have it, just in case you don't have it, you have, or you don't remember how to put it, we'll go through it. And if you don't have it in any of the visuals that you're using, you can add it. Just under 5 minutes to build or detailed view. And that's time, everyone. By the way, great. So everyone, great designs, especially if we're designing something in 10 minutes. You're probably going to do much better than I am. So just in case, very quickly, if you forgot how to do the time picker, I'm actually going to go on my profit drill down. So here I have my time key. I am going to remove it and put it there again. So the way to do this time key, specifically the one that where you can pick the specific range that you want. So first, pick the time key over from the tables and put it in filters. In this case, I'm doing it on my drill down, but that's perfectly fine. Give me a second. Yes. And make sure that you pick, give me a sec, because of course, that one's already. So when you put it there, it's going to ask you some questions. There are several options. Generally, if you already have this option that says range of dates, that's the one you want. Okay, and just apply, and that's perfect. But you might actually find, for example, if it's set up to discrete, if it shows like this, when you put the time key over here, you actually have to make a big and important change, because this isn't going to work. Okay, because it shouldn't be discrete, it should be continuous. So just click OK, then over the time key, click the right mouse button and just click continuous and range of dates and pick all the dates, and that's it. Now you have it. And if you can see, if I show show filter, now you can see the filter over here. And when you add this particular chart over to the dashboard, you're going to have a chance to put this time key wherever you want, and it's going to affect all of the data, not just this chart. And that's the important thing. Once you build the filter, it works for everything in the dashboard. All right. So I'm coming back to the dashboard. I'm adding some things that I had from before. By the way, this is just me adding a gray block at the end, because I like to have a little bit of this sense of floating that's just not white in this case. And I'm redoing all of these little things in white. But that's just my taste in this case. And all of the stuff, I already put it in the colors of Simply Music. So it's always going to be gray and red, or this reddish tinge. All right. So I added profit, revenue, and of course we had also units sold. So again, just adding them and painting them white. I'm going to fix units sold in just a second. Where is units sold? Great. So yeah, put it in 12. I think that's going to work. Oops, that's the wrong view. Yeesh, I hate how units sold. Why didn't it change? Units sold, because I didn't pick it. Great. 12. There you go. That's better. Yeah, now it looks better. So just making sure it's sort of the same size and places. All right. So the first part, please start from a plain dashboard. All right, why not? Let's actually do it from plain dashboard. Yeah, we have time. So I'm going to do, oops, not a data sheet, sorry, delete. So I'm going to do a new dashboard. Okay, just because I'm not going to repeat the whole thing, I'm just going to go for it. And yes, Sophia, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to show you how to fix it in just a second. So I'm going to start from a plain dashboard, the way that I do it, just because I think it works nice for me. So the first thing is I'm going to increase the width, because I like them to be a little bit wider than Tableau does for default. And then the first thing I actually want to do is I want to add a blank slate as a tile. So this is like a big tile for everything. And I am actually going to go here to layout and color it like a little bit like the tinge of gray from the logo of Simply Music. And now everything else is going to be floating. So the first thing I'm going to add is the logo. So I'm going to grab here image and put it in here. And I'm just going to choose where my file is. Simply Music. I had it ready and hit OK. All right. This sounds about right. It's going to fit no matter what I do. Great. And I'm going to put it here up here. Yeah, it sounds good up here. So that's the first thing. Now, if I remember correctly, we actually needed to add the scorecards. So I have the scorecards over here somewhere. Where are my scorecards? So we have profit, revenue, and units sold. So I'm going to start with profit. So as you can see, it's going to be sort of transparent. So I'm actually going to go to layout and just color it white. So it makes a little bit more sense. Now, there's a few ways to fix it. The quick way to fix it, whenever you have, for example, this, if this doesn't fit, is you have to go into wherever you have the actual data for that one. So in the actual worksheet, double click on the title, select the whole title. In this case, I'm just gonna put it in black and make it a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna do it in 12 and just apply. And when I come back here, as you can see now, this looks a little bit different and it fits a little bit better. And of course, just make sure that it's the right size. Now I'm gonna add the revenue. Do this, I'm gonna do the same thing, color it white. See if I can sort of make it the same size. So the disadvantage with floating is that you have to sort of measure the sizes. That's the only issue. And I'm gonna do the same thing here, black and 12 to make sure it fits. And yeah, I think it's a little bit off. I'll add the time key filter in just a bit. And okay, going to the dashboard and finally units sold. And again, boom, white. I'm gonna make it about the same size and I'll fix it here in just a bit. Yeah, sort of there. And just in case, units sold is over here. I'm gonna make it black as well, just because I think it looks a little bit better. Yeah. And it has to be, yeah, that looks about right. Now, just in case, somewhere over here, I'm gonna add the time key. Remember that I added my time key over in my profit drill down. See, it's right here. So to add that to the dashboard, so the only thing I actually need to do is add that particular profit drill down. So I'm actually going to put it over here. I actually like it like this. And if, as you can see, this gets automatically added. And this one, I can actually grab and put it wherever I want. So I could actually add it over here. I could put it down here. I'm actually going to put it here in the corner, just so that it sort of fits with my scorecards. And I am also going to put it in white because I think it looks better. This one, I'm going to do the same, just so that everything looks the right color. So I'm going to put this one over here. Let me see if I should make it, let me make it smaller and smaller, just to make sure that it sort of fits. And I want to do it like this. I want to put it this way, all the way down, just so I can open it up and not have to drill too much down or move it. So yeah, I could actually make this one a little bit wider. All right, but this is a design choice depending on what you would like to do, where exactly you put it and how it's going to look. Okay. So where I found the time key. So again, if you want to add any filter, you have to have added it before to one of your charts. In my case, I showed you at the beginning how to add it to the profit drill down. It's right here. But just in case, I'll add one also to the revenue drill down, and then I'll take it off. So what you do to add it is grab the time key and put it on filters. All right. And well, in this case, it's already sort of set up. So we just make sure that it's on the range of dates and hit apply, and that's it. And here you can just show filter. So once you add this revenue drill down over to the dashboard, which I'll show you in just a bit. So where's the revenue drill down? Revenue drill down is right here. So when I add it, see, it's going to add the time key again. Now, this, since I already have it, I'm just going to delete this one. All right. Any more questions about the time key? All right, good. So once again, this one, I'm going to go to layout, put it in white. And in a bit, I want to give it a little bit, but not too much. Go all the way down here. Yep, that looks nice. Okay, it's good enough for a quick dashboard. All right, I might have to make these a little bit, I might want to move them in a bit. Now, the next part, let me actually look at the sketch. I love looking at the sketch. So I'm going to put the pie chart. So where's my pie chart? My pie chart is over here. Actually, this one. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to need to do something with that title. Where's the pie chart? Over here. So let's go over here. Yeah, let's do it black, but let's do it a lot smaller. And I'm going to change the name. Now that's fine. I'm going to rename it. I'm just going to remove the pie chart part. It doesn't need to say pie chart. That's a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to put this one over here for now. Just make sure that it looks whitish. I'm a big fan of grids. So yeah, I'm going to fix that in a bit. Not loving it. All right. And what's the, sales by state. So yeah, this one is going to be a little bit biggish. So maybe I'm actually going to make these two smaller. And I might add my map over here. I don't actually need this one. And as you can see, now the dots look a little bit too big. So I'm going to go to sales by state and make my dots smaller so that they look better on my dashboard. There you go. That definitely looks better on my dashboard. And I'm also going to make this one whitish. There you go. And actually, you know what? No, I'm actually going to move this over here. Now it looks better. Just going to make these ones a little bit slimmer. Oh. No, I don't need you. I want you. Should go in here. Now it looks a little bit better. Actually, like that. I'll make this one a bit bigger. There you go. That's looking nicer. And I can actually make this one's bigger now. See, I could actually spend the next couple of hours playing around with this. And at some point, you just have to stop. And yes, I can go back and do these the long way again so that we have all that information. And finally, I can just add, remember this, the last chart that we did. So this one, I'm just going to make a little bit of a switch, and I'm going to change this to here and this to here. So I get a column chart instead of a line chart. And that's going to let me actually add it at the very end. So this one over here, now I can add it here, making it a little bit smaller. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me make it white. And ta-da, that's sort of my first sketch of the dashboard. It's once in a while, you can play around with it again. Yes, I'll show you how to do the tile to get this gray background or any color you want. And remember, once you add this is actually going to affect, this is actually going to affect everything. Like once you hit this, let me just, so you have to tell it to apply to everything. There you go. So whenever you change this filter is now going to apply to everything. So whenever you move it, it's just going to move all of the data. And that's one of the coolest things about Tableau. All right. So a couple of things very quickly. So the first one, I'm going to open up a new dashboard just in case. This is just to show you how to add actually a tile on the back, which you can then put any color behind it. So just make sure the tile is selected down here. And see this one that says blank? Just move it. That's the first thing you do. Now, once it's there, this is like a wide, big tile. You can go to layout, here where it says background, and just pick a color. So in this case, I did a little bit of gray, but you could pick any color. Of course, it's going to give you, a sort of pastel colors because it's for the background, but you can pick any color you want. And after that, then you can just move to floating tiles. All right. Now going back, by the way, these are the KPIs right here: profit, revenue, and units sold. These are my big KPIs. That's why when I move this, everything changes. All of the little graph change, all of my little KPIs change. So I can actually pick whatever dates I need. And by the way, a lot of the stuff that you move is going to, like you can actually start connecting things so that every time you pick something in one of the charts, it shows in everything. But most of the time you have to build some kind of a filter. Let me actually, and yeah, by the way, I have spent hours and hours working on making a dashboard look exactly how I want it to look. And it can take a while, and it takes, the more you, like everything else, the more you practice, the easier it's going to become. And of course, Tableau has thousands and thousands of options, up to the point, if you talk to one of the developers of Tableau and ask them if they know everything that they can do with Tableau, their answer is going to be no, because there are so many options. Literally, people come up with new designs all the time. Okay, so let's go back to a few things. Hakeem, where are you stuck on the time key? Yeah, the drill downs look empty because of how I place them. So for example, if I chose, so if I choose a different setting, that, for example, if I move this over here, so everything, whatever decision you make is going to have an impact on your design. So for example, I could actually just choose to make my drill downs long instead of wide. So for example, I could actually just decide to put this one over here. And these are just design choices. What works better? Well, it's going to depend on many things. Now, the issue here is that this is going to look great. But as I open them up, then I have more to scroll down. So see, this is going to be a lot harder to see. But that would still work. This is still good. That is not necessarily a bad design choice. So again, it all depends on your design choices. And yeah, you can take a long time putting them together. And then I can put this one over here, make it a little bit bigger. Also this one. This actually doesn't look that bad. Yeah, this is another option, and it doesn't look bad either. So the time key, so this time key over here is not that it has to be on a source file. It has to be inside of one of the you have to put it inside of a worksheet. But once you put it in one worksheet, as long as that worksheet is in this dashboard, you can once you add it, it gets added automatically. So that's it. So for example, in my case, I have it in my revenue. Well, I have it both in my revenue drill down and my profit drill down. So once I move those onto the dashboard, it gets added, and then I can just organize it wherever I want to organize it. How to put it where? On the worksheet or in the dashboard? On the worksheet. So to put it on the worksheet, let's get this one. Let's take it out. So if you have a time, you have to take the time key over here and put it in filters. And two things are going to happen. If it's like I already have it set up, so let me actually reorganize it so that it's probably going to look like this. The first one, once you move it, it's going to look like this. See, it has the dates. So when that happens, just hit OK, click the right mouse button, and it's probably going to say discrete over here. So just change it to continuous. And once you do that, this is going to show up and you just hit OK. And if you want to see it, you click the right mouse button again and show filter. And see, it's showing it right here. So once you add this revenue drill down over to a dashboard, then the time key is going to show up. Again, if the data labels are on your pie chart, let me see, where's my pie chart? Where's my pie chart? I can't find my pie chart. Here it is. No. Yes, here's my pie chart. See, it's right here. It gets created automatically. And then you can move it around. Like it's like if it's styled, it's an independent little thing. So you can move it around. So again, my suggestion is play around with it. Play around with Tableau, figure out what you like, figure out what you can do, figure out what things need to be changed. For example, if you want to change these titles to give the visual a little bit more room, you actually have to change them here. So for example, here I can do revenue drill down. I'm going to put it in black, but I'm going to make it smaller, very, very small, so that it gives my dashboard more room. And as you can see, now the title is a lot smaller. I don't know if that's necessarily what you want to do in this case, but it works. And again, play around with it. That is my biggest suggestion. Just do some dashboarding, play around with it, because you're going to have tons and tons and tons and tons of questions. Because no matter how long you spend using Tableau, there's still more things to try out and more things to actually discover. And that's part of the wonderful thing. But look at how easy and simple it makes building a dashboard from an Excel worksheet. Now imagine what you can do after you practice a little bit. All right. So I know Anoop has some announcements, so I'm going to end the lesson here. If you have more questions, post them on the chat. Either I or one of the TLs will get to it at some point. And it's been a pleasure. See you next time.